You are listening to Freshly Squeezed.
The thing is, we thought we can try and pretend to be someone we're not. And the thing is, we're not cool people. So it's like, why not just be who we are? You know, it's a bit easier, isn't it?
Welcome. Headphones on, lock in, shut out the world and get stuck into some brilliant new music. I'm Jim, this is Freshly Squeezed, a place where we showcase some of the best rising musical acts around the UK and beyond. And we do it every single week. We're certainly going beyond the shores of the UK this week because we pick up with a very cool New York band called SKORTS. It's like Florence and the Machine meets Jefferson Airplane meets Queens of the Stone Age, all rolled into one. More of that and a bit more from them later. Also, if we're talking musical mashups, then how about a bit of Maccabees meets Sex Pistols, performing together on a Newquay beach? That's the kind of vibe that I get from the ace, Tooth Gore. We'll catch up with Tooth Gore, otherwise known as Kobe, later. And we're also going to get the debut tune from a new Manchester outfit called Bank Holiday. Yes, a new band, but some familiar faces to talk to there. If you like this podcast, maybe it's your first time checking it out, maybe you've been creeping around for a bit. Either way, if you like it, put a ring on it. And by ring, I mean click the follow button wherever it is you are listening so you get the latest episodes as soon as they're ready. And maybe even leave a review. Help other people find the podcast if you're feeling particularly generous. Nice one. But let's get started and let's rewind a bit to the first band I mentioned, SKORTS. They're stateside now, but they're about to head this way on a European tour. Welcome, guys.
Good to be here. Thanks for having us.
Good morning.
Lovely to have you on. So you're speaking at the moment from home in the US. Well, obviously it's the World Cup at the moment. Has World Cup fever taken hold of the band yet?
Well,
they've wrapped the whole subway system in the World Cup flag.
It's a shame that we have to leave right now. It's like we're going to such a better place of the planet for football, and now the World Cup is here. But it's been a little overshadowed by the basketball recently.
Yeah.
So
I was convinced you were going to say by the politics then, but you went for basketball.
I mean, everything is living in the shadow of the politics.
But
so.
New York is in the sunshine right now. We've got a wonderful mayor and the Knicks won. I do feel like we're having a good time over here in New York right now. I feel like other people feel that way.
You were born out of the New York underground rock scene, which is very cool, but equally very competitive for a band coming through. Is it cutthroat, the New York rock scene? Like, if you are an act that's coming through and taking those steps up, is it a place where everyone's out for themselves, or is it somewhere that is actually quite supportive?
I think it's very supportive. It's naturally competitive because so many people are trying to do it. And I mean, Obviously there's a lot of venues here that you can go get your shot at, but it's competitive in the sense that
there's a lot going on. And for you to be the act that people see, I mean, you've got to be good.
There's just a lot of other bands. So it's hard to cut through all that, but people find a way.
The scene has always felt very friendly to me personally.
Yeah. There's a good community for it. Just like getting your opportunities can be the hard part.
If you don't have a girl bass player in your band, it can be really hard.
Well, I mean, as a band, you kept it kind of quite old school with your growth. You didn't have a TikTok song go viral. There wasn't this massive social media campaign. It was all very organic. People talked about you. Crowds grow slowly. What was that like? Did it feel like when you're on stage, does it feel very tangible when that's happening? You're kind of taking each gig at a time. Every time you're seeing more and more people in the room.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, we don't have like a huge social media follling.
We're slow cooking.
But I feel like I know everybody on our Instagram. I mean, it's not that many people, but it's nice that way.
It does feel organic, and it feels like we're singing to the faces, and then the faces are trying to link up with us after they see the show and they want to keep in touch. But I do feel like that's the way we're meant to grow our audience and it feels right to me personally, because I'm not big on social media. Like we do what we need to get the information out there, but it doesn't feel natural to any of the band members really. So yeah, you got to come see us, and we want to see you. That's how I like my
That's
music.
the only way we're going to connect.
Does that make the shows feel more intimate in a way? Because if you're there and you're playing to familiar faces, people you've connected with on social media, people that have kind of like interacted with your music before, does that change? I mean, I guess you haven't got anything to compare it to, but does it change the dynamic?
I guess it would be weird if we had just dropped a single and then all of a sudden we have all these fans that we've never seen before. I mean, like that would be interesting too. I don't think it tops it just because we know everybody, but it does have a bit of a family feeling because you're like, I've seen these people multiple times. They've grown with us and
they keep coming back.
Yeah, and they keep coming back, and it feels like a really wonderful fan base because they also get to become friends, and it becomes a little scene within itself. And I feel like you want that. You want all the fans to get excited to see each other as well as the band.
On to new tune, Head Rush. Ali, you've said before that you know a song's good when it makes you cry. Did Head Rush pass that test?
Or it makes me angry.
Okay.
Or it feels like a big release. That song actually did aggravate me for a while. I didn't want to play it. And it took maybe some separation from that song to come back and really feel like, oh, actually this song rips. It's so fun to play. And it's weird because I did not feel that months after writing it. I was very resistant.
Why was that?
I might have been the headspace that it came from. I was really irritated when I wrote it. So I was irritated to play it and a little reluctant to re-enter the headspace of Head Rush, I guess. But now I'm at a different place with it. And so I feel very excited to play it live in Europe.
Yeah, it took a lot of convincing to even finish the track. But
it took Emma dropping the C for me to be into it.
Yeah, we had to drop that bass a little lower.
Yeah.
and then it was all systems go on Head Rush.
I was like, all right, I'm into it now.
I was interested as to when the bass came into your writing process, actually, because it's one of those threads that does go through all your songs. There's kind of this quite sometimes dominant, very groovy, kind of funky bass that kind of threads through everything. Is that there from the initial writing process? Do you write together as a band where everything's in that initial melting pot?
Yeah.
A lot of times, yeah. I mean, the songs, even if it's a little inkling of an idea, a lot of times I like to share it with the band just to see what their energy is on it and if they want to take it and do something. Or sometimes it's coming out of a jam where Emma sets the groove on bass. A lot of times I even like to start noodling around and writing on bass myself. So I think that the bass, we love getting the song from that rooted place. I do, because it allows a lot of freedom for everything else to fall in when you have that bass line.
A lot of that bass playing is, I mean, even if it's a song Allie's written on bass, Emma's still
She's taking over usually.
Yeah, leveling it up a little bit and giving it that groove and maybe that the melodic aspect of
she harmonizes with her bass with my vocals all the time. It's really cool what the things that she does. She's really an explorer on that bass.
You're going to be coming to the UK end of July, playing some headline shows. Have you been to the UK before, or is this the first time?
First timers over here.
I was going to ask whether you had a favourite city, somewhere where your music worked better than others, but I guess you haven't been here before, so you don't know. So anywhere you're particularly looking forward to playing?
I think London, Manchester, those places that have sort of kind of.
It's what you always hear about.
Yeah,
we gotta go check it out for ourselves.
With rock bands that have really kind of planted a flag, and I don't know, so much great music has come out of the UK. It's just really cool to get to go there and see what it feels like to play some of these clubs. Yeah, I'd say Manchester is probably a top one for me.
All the details, we'll stick the links in the podcast description. We're going to play the new tune Head Rush on Freshly Squeezed. But guys, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's such a cool tune, and it's not quite like anything that I've heard recently. I really like it. Tour dates are in the podcast description, along with more links to help you find more music from the band. And if you do get into SKORTS' back catalogue, you'll notice how eclectic their songs are. They're all slightly different, but they've all got this dead funky bass line running through it. Very cool. So next, bringing it home to Manchester with the band Bank Holiday. Luke, Ollie and Matt are in the car somewhere in the city. First off, lads, where are you and what's the motor?
Well, we're in the Seat Ibiza and we're in Prestwich.
Seat Ibiza. You're doing all right for yourselves if you're driving a Seat Ibiza.
Yeah, we've just stopped this minute, yeah.
Nice to have you on the podcast, boys. So you're kind of a new band, but you're not really new to the scene. Previously, a few of the members were in a band called Shade, and this is, I guess, a transition from that, is it?
We all wanted to play like different kind of music, and then all our projects sort of fell apart at the same time. So it's kind of a new sound, but then there's still some bits of the past in there. Do you know what I mean?
Was there a discussion about continuing Shade with a different vibe, or did it need to be a clean slate?
Yeah, we wanted a completely
start?
new start. We just wanted to make different music. It's still guitar based, but not as, it's not all about guitar solos and like this. We're writing pop music right now.
Well, it's very different, I think. It's very different to what Shade were doing, but also very different to what is currently on the scene, I guess. It's kind of quite alt-rock. It's a bit poppy. Did you have an idea for doing something that was a little bit different and stood out from the crowd?
100%, yeah. We had a look around and thought what the scene is looking like right now, and a lot of bands are doing the same kind of thing. So we were just thinking, what sort of bands do we like? And it was like, stuff like McFly. Like, you can't listen to McFly and like hate it, can you? But no one's doing that right now. So
yeah, it just feels very like, satisfying to the ear.
Everyone's very serious.
It's one of them, innit? Because we're sticking to our roots with the guitar music, like what we love doing. But like, we take a lot of inspiration from a lot of pop music, especially Luke with production and stuff. So I think it's quite refreshing.
We're trying to make happy music, aren't we?
Yeah.
And everyone's making very serious, sad music at the moment. So it's quite refreshing.
Did you have a hesitancy to going down that route? Because with all due respect, McFly probably aren't considered the coolest band in the world. But like you say, they write good, catchy songs.
No, because the thing is, we thought we can try and pretend to be someone we're not. And the thing is, we're not cool people. So it's like, why not just be who we are? It's a bit easier, isn't it?
I love the confidence. So debut single Out of the Blue is out now. You only ever get one of these. You only get one debut single. We're a couple of weeks out from its release. Are you happy with how it's gone?
It's blown our heads off. I can't believe what's happened.
The numbers are crazy.
Did you set any targets ahead of releasing the tune? Did you kind of go, we want to get to this point?
I think it was like we'd love, and it was a long shot. We'd love if we could get 100K in a week, and then we've like really outdone it.
I love the story behind kind of how the tune came about. I understand it's a bit of a challenge to fit in as many idioms as you could into one song. How many did you manage to get in the tune?
Honestly, I think all the lines one. We were just looking at Catchphrase, the old TV show. How many of these can we get into a song?
Sing what you see,
make it make sense. So it took us about 20 minutes. It was like that easy.
Are there any that you really wanted to get in there, but you just couldn't work out a way to kind of crowbar them in?
We saw Out with the Blue, and we was like, that has to be
that felt strong, that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be caught dead and stuff like that. It's every line in the chorus is...
Yeah, the one that no one seems to understand is caught beneath two stools. That is a real saying, but people are saying it's not.
People think it's about poo.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. What does it mean?
It means like in between two problems in a way.
Like a rock and a hard place sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like that. It's kind of like a game you can play when you're listening to it, isn't it? Kind of how many are in there?
Anything with the rhyme with blue that you can find, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. Before I let you go, I want to talk about your recent tour with Jamie Webster. So he's an artist which has got a kind of a very enthusiastic and very passionate fan base. When you're doing something like that and you're stepping on stage at that kind of gig, does it give you an idea of what you want to achieve, where you want to get to?
I think so, yeah. I think it was just like, to do that as like your first set of gigs was like insane. Do you know what I mean? Because originally it was like just a solo thing, and then we started the band at the same time, and then we were just like, I'm not going to continue on my own anyway. We're doing the band. Let's just do it as that. But yeah, the reception was like insanely great. Everyone seemed to really like it. So nice to play for someone else's crowd, if you get what I'm saying. Like at that early stage, you're already like getting your music to somewhere that's not Manchester. So he put us on like Sheffield and Birmingham, and his reason was so we could get out of Manchester, which was like really nice. And obviously he's a great guy, and really nice for helping us out when we had no tunes out, nothing like that.
And I think you met him at Carl Faulkner's writing camp, didn't you that we've spoken to Carl on the podcast before. He does it up in the mountains in Spain, and people go there and they kind of share the creative process. How do you find that?
That was brilliant. I went on my own. To be fair, I nearly pulled out last minute because it was quite. I've never flown on my own before out. It was dead scary and that, like. But as soon as I got there, it was honestly, it was fantastic. It was wild at times, but overall, it was like really, really cool. Like I learned a lot.
I've heard that Carl can be a bit of a taskmaster, can be a little bit brutal in terms of the songwriting process. If he doesn't like something, he is not afraid to tell you he doesn't like it. Was that your experience?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I was a bit like set back really. I didn't do as much as I should have, only because I was like just a bit nervous about doing it. But you know, I did write a song with Kyle, and it ended up like it's my favourite song we've done. Do you know what I mean? Like it's really, really cool, and he's a nice guy. I've seen him since. But yeah, he's actually really cool. It's proper sound.
Is that song to come in the future? What is the release kind of plan from here? Have you got loads lined up? Are we going to get a constant stream of new music from here on in?
Yes, we're going to try and get a few tunes out this year. I think every like 2 to 3 months, aren't we? That's the aim.
We're looking at an EP currently.
Loads of demos and things.
Yeah, I've got loads of tunes ready to go.
Nice one. Well, we look forward to hearing it when it comes. For the time being, we'll make do with the song that's inspired half by Catchphrase and half by McFly, which is pretty unique in itself. Out of the blue, we can spot the idioms. But Bank Holiday, boys, cheers for joining me on Freshly Squeezed.
Thank you very much.
Nice one.
Shines from your eyes. It's all the same. There's no one left to blame. You took your time and I've waited too long. Now you've gone about it the wrong way. Yeah, you've gone about it the wrong way. Out of the blue she said we're caught beneath two stools. I wouldn't be caught there.
Fun tune, right? And that's what music should be. It should be fun. Looking forward to hearing what's to come from the Bank Holiday boys very soon. So we're wrapping up this week's podcast with a little bit of surf rock, and that comes from GORE, which is the name under which Kobe Joe performs. Welcome to Freshly Squeezed, mate.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
So we're talking about the new tune. It's called Scum of the Sea, which has got this kind of lo-fi, fuzzy, surfy feel to it, but also a little bit punky at the same time. Now, I was interested because as an artist, you're based between two main locations, Newquay and Mile End in London. Are those two musical styles, the kind of surf rock meets punk, a reflection in any way of those two environments that you're in?
I would say definitely, especially like the surfy side, since I grew up in Newquay and it's like a massive surfer town. Everybody surfs. It's just like so ingrained in the culture. And like, I definitely think growing up there, it had a very big effect on me in like a really positive way. It's hard to explain, but like being able to go down to the beach just like after school, it kind of just fills my heart in a way that I haven't experienced anywhere else.
That's interesting. We'll come on to that in a little bit because I think it plays directly into the new tune as well. But just to rewind for a second, it was about a year ago you released your second album, which was called For Losers by Losers. Now, I ask this question a lot on the podcast. I always get a different response to it. But for a second album, was it that cliche of it was much more difficult to write than the first one? Because it came really quickly off the back of your first album.
It was kind of the opposite experience that I had. And although the releases came quite quick after each other, the way the first album was recorded and structured, it was like a collection of songs that I'd written since being like 15, 16. And then we recorded them slowly across a couple of years while I was in college and while I was, in education. And then we kind of released them all as this collection without even really, we didn't plan like a release. We didn't know at all what we were doing or where it would lead. We were just like, okay, we've got 12 songs now. Let's put them together. And then immediately after that released, I started playing some shows. It felt more like a career that could be real and attainable. And I felt like I'd learned so much from writing those first batch of songs that the second ones seemed to just come out of me in like a creative sense, that I was writing every day, and it felt really liberating. I kind of discovered more the sound that I wanted to create with like the surf rock, which wasn't a thing that I really did a lot on my first album. So it felt like I had this really moment of clarity into what I wanted to do and what I wanted to achieve. And that kind of made writing that second album a lot quicker and easier than the first one.
Did it feel like more of a cohesive project in a way? The first one was just kind of a collection of songs you'd written over a few years, but you have this identity for album 2. Did it feel like it hung together a bit more?
Definitely, yeah. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's like, and the way we recorded it as well was that we got the studio for 2 weeks, going in every day, and it was kind of recorded as a cohesive set. It felt like there was way more intention with the songs. As a person and as a creative, I'd grown a lot, and sort of all the same people working on it in the studio, we were all there together, trying things out and working on these songs. So it did feel a lot more cohesive.
How does that move on now? Because new song Scum of the Sea isn't part of that collection, it's part of the next thing. Does it develop further from here?
Yeah, I mean, these songs were recorded with George Perks, who I hadn't worked with before, and it was kind of an experiment of working with new people. I've been writing all the time, but we just wanted to try out working with different people, try different things. These new ones, I feel, are a lot more in line with my second album, but I feel like kind of developing and refining the sound all the time.
With this new tune, Scum of the Sea, you talked about your love of New Key. When I listened to it, I got this kind of rebellious love-hate thing, to be honest with you. You're clearly very fond of where you grew up, but do you have that thing that we all have a little bit about kind of our hometown where you love it, but at the same time you hate it? No one else can slag it off, but you can.
Definitely. I think it's sort of seeing both sides, especially when you have the context of living somewhere else and seeing a whole new set of people and problems. It kind of puts it into context. I feel very fondly about my hometown, but you get to realize just how small it is and how, far away from the rest of the world Cornwall feels.
On this track, on all your music, in fact, you do everything. So all the instruments are you, bar a drum machine that helps you along. How does that translate when you take it into the live world?
So when I play live, I use the tracks that we record in the studio. So for this one, we did hire a live drummer so I programmed the drums in Ableton. Then I took them to the live drummer, whose name's Kieran Lee. He's like an absolute machine on the drums and also an incredible person. And I said, like, this is how I've written it. This is what I want it to sound like. And so he played the drums in the studio that you hear on the song.
Okay.
And then I actually take the direct recording of those drums and I play them off a little pedal that I have that it's got like the bass and the backing vocals on it as well. And then live, I play guitar and I sing live. So you get the full band sound while it's just me on stage.
Do you see a world where that will develop into a band, or do you kind of enjoy the fact it is just you and a bit of technology?
I think it definitely has its charm. I haven't seen a lot of people doing a similar thing, so I think it does make me stand out. But obviously, I think there are limitations to like what I can do by myself. So if it comes to a time playing bigger venues, I think looking for a band is definitely something we would consider in the future.
I found an interview you did almost exactly a year ago, in fact, where you were asked in that interview where you wanted to be in 12 months. Do you remember what you said?
I don't remember what I said.
So the answer you gave was, I'd like to be touring all the time, playing as many shows as possible, and connecting with as many people as possible. It's also a dream of mine to play Slam Dunk Festival, so we'll see how it goes. I'm just wondering, 12 months on, how are you doing on that mission?
Well, I've definitely had a lot more experience touring. This year, I've already toured the Philippines and Japan, and I've managed to connect with a lot of people who seem to really connect with my music, and that was always the dream, to kind of have an effect on people the same way that the bands I listen to have affected me. So I'd say on that sense, it has been a success. The slam dunk thing has not happened yet, but I went just like to watch the bands because they had some absolutely incredible bands on. So we're definitely still working on that aspect, but I think for the most part, I've done what I set out to do.
Well, come on, Slam Dunk. You need to pull your finger out. Get on this one. If we were going to set another kind of objective, so 12 months in the future, I'm speaking to you again, June 2027. Where do you want to be at that point?
Ooh, I think I'm just going to give a very similar answer. I'd love to keep playing as many shows as possible, keep connecting with people, keep meeting just incredible people and incredible bands that I've played with, and just keep working at it until I get that slam dunk.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
Kobe, lovely to speak to you. We'll check in with you in 12 months' time and see how you're getting on, but really enjoying the new tune. I listened to it and I was kind of like, it's like a punky Maccabees playing on the beach, which is a really cool place to be and quite unique. So really enjoying the music, and cheers for coming on Freshly Squeezed.
Thank you for having me.
It's called Scum of the Sea. It's from GORE, and if you want more from him or any of the artists that are featured on this week's episode of Freshly Squeezed, jump into the podcast description, follow the links to listen. Also, did you know that each week we also, as well as the podcast, we do a kind of Freshly Squeezed new music playlist? If you're on Spotify, you can save it there, and then every Friday I pop 10 of my favourite songs from the week, including the ones you hear on the episode, into the Freshly Squeezed playlist, so you have fresh tunes for your weekend. If that sounds something that you're into, there's a link to that in the podcast blurb as well. That is it for this week. Don't forget to hit the follow button if you're into what we do. Cheers for that. Cheers for your ears. See you next time.
The award-winning Freshly Squeezed, a new music podcast, was devised, produced and hosted by Jim Salveson. Sound design and production by Ant McGinley. Theme music, Blue Blazer, is written and produced by Spin Class. Stop.